There are a lot of games in existence, with even more being released each day. My backlog of games only seems to grow constantly, and I barely manage to finish enough games to combat it due to school and other life garbage. Maybe you can relate, especially if you were born later and have a lot of games to catch up on, or have just missed out on a lot of the past classics. Finding time to sit down and push through these games can be difficult. That's why one of the best ways to get through classic games is through emulation on your phone.
The first game console emulator on record released to the public was the Family Computer Emulator version 0.35 by Haruhisa Utagawa, which emulated the Nintendo Famicom, known in America as the NES. The file's history dates back to December 12, 1990, but it took until 1997 for freeware NES emulators to spread. One of the first and most significant was Nesticle, created by Isa Addis. Regarded as a big step for emulation due to its user-friendly nature and speed, it is still sometimes used for its speed when ran on retro hardware. From there, console emulation continued to expand from 8-bit consoles to 32-bit, and eventually to the 5th generation of consoles, with early emulators such as Project Unreality for the N64, and PSEMU for the PlayStation. Emulation for handheld consoles such as the Game Boy followed suit, with GBA-EMU being released even a year before the console had hit store shelves. The general trend was set that with the console's release, an emulator would follow, with some exceptions due to unique uses of technology. This issue was present even in the 5th generation, as it took some time to figure out how to mimic the Sega Saturn with its dual processors. In the 6th generation, the main outlier was the Xbox, with emulators only really emerging for it in the past decade, due in part to the amount of Xbox games that found their way to PC, and the actual hardware not being documented very well. With the 7th generation, the main focus seemed to be on emulating the Wii, as both the PS3 and Xbox 360 were too powerful, and the PS3's cell processor was just too complicated to emulate. Innovation in the emulation scene continues to this day, as without it games are lost with the decay of the hardware they were created for. But emulation means they can be played for generations to come. Even Nintendo and other console manufacturers know the importance of emulators, lately capitalizing on them with the release of products such as the NES Classic and the Sega Genesis Mini. You won't be able to emulate the 8th generation consoles for a while, but that's due to their generally more complicated system architecture, as well as the fact that on average you need to have 4 times the computing power of the console you're trying to emulate. Emulation on Android allows for a fair bit of freedom. While not nearly as much as on a PC, there is still a wide range of options available, many of which are found on the Google Play Store. I'll be using RetroArch, Dolphin, and Yabusan Shudo. RetroArch is comprised of different emulators, which you can download for each system you want to emulate. I'd recommend these cores and these settings. In terms of controls, you have the option of touchscreen controls, which aren't very responsive and don't feel great, but it's usable nonetheless. Or you can hook up any other controller over Bluetooth or using a cable or adapter. You can configure them here in RetroArch, here in Yabusan Shiro, and here in Dolphin. Inside the phone you've already seen so much of is a Qualcomm Snapdragon 730 CPU and an Adreno 618 GPU, as well as 6GB of RAM. To fully showcase emulation on Android, I'll be emulating 3 games from each of these 16 systems, and I'll note any issues I had when emulating them. And now, emulation on Android. Emulation on Android for the most part works fairly well, especially when emulating older consoles, and as phones continue to become more powerful, the range of devices that can be emulated continues to grow. There are some issues here and there, the occasional rendering fault was bound to appear. Some games just don't work and sometimes slowdown will occur for no reason, but as a way to play past console games on the go, emulation on Android is one of the easiest and most accessible options currently available, especially when compared to Nintendo Switch Online's SNES and NES game catalogs. And of course, due to the freedom of Android, there are lots more options for emulators out there if compatibility issues get in the way. Thanks for watching. Please leave any feedback in the comments, and I'm really interested to hear your thoughts about emulation on Android. Hi, thanks for making it all the way through the video. I'm just here to tell you about all the amazing people that helped me make this video. First of all, thank you to Maddie and Kent for script feedback and helping me with editing my paragraphs and stuff. Thank you to my dad for driving me to all the filming locations and carrying drums, as well as Kent for helping with filming and carrying drums. Thank you to Aiden for recording the drums and mixing them. That was a really big help and I couldn't have done that without you. Thank you for Rowan with helping with the title card and also the thumbnail. Thank you to Corey, or the obsoletist, and again Kent for giving me feedback on the final draft of the video. And thanks to all of you for waiting. Hopefully you won't have to wait so long next time. Bye! Oh, and by the way, you can find all of their social media linked down below, so go check them out as well.